In this video, I'm going to show you what to do when streaming apps say VPN detected and how to fix it using UltraVPN. If you turn on a VPN and suddenly Netflix, Hulu, or another streaming app stops working, it's how streaming platforms block VPN traffic now. I'll explain why this happens, what actually causes the block, and the realistic steps you can take to reduce it without overpromising or getting technical. I'm Erin from the VPN Nerds. Let's get into it. If you want to try UltraVPN yourself, you can use the link below to save over 60% on UltraVPN. Plus, it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Why VPN detected happens. Before we talk about fixes, here's what's actually happening. Streaming platforms don't block you, they block IP patterns. When you turn on a VPN, you're sharing an IP address with other users. If too many people stream from the same IP, platforms like Netflix or Hulu flag it as VPN traffic. That's when you see messages like VPN detected or content suddenly disappears. This is normal behavior and no VPN can guarantee 100% access all the time. What does matter is how the VPN handles speed, location switching, and IP rotation. That's what we're looking at next. What VPN detected really means. When a streaming app says VPN detected, it's not identifying you as a person, it's reacting to the IP address you're connecting from. An IP address is basically a label that tells websites where internet traffic is coming from. When you use a VPN, you're no longer using your home IP. You're using one provided by the VPN service. Streaming platforms monitor those IPs. If thousands of users are streaming from the same address, that traffic pattern looks artificial. Once an IP is flagged, any user connected to it can trigger the warning, even if they're doing nothing wrong. This matters because it explains why VPN blocks feel random. You didn't suddenly break something, you just landed on an IP that's already been identified. Why streaming platforms care. Streaming platforms don't own most of the content you watch. They license it, and those licenses are negotiated country by country. A show that's available in the US might be restricted in Europe, Asia, or South America because the rights are owned by different distributors in each region. To enforce those agreements, streaming services have to know where a request is coming from, and the main way they do that is by checking the IP address. When a VPN changes your IP, it disrupts that location-based system, even if the user's intent is harmless. Because VPN usage has grown so quickly, platforms no longer rely on simple location checks. Instead, they analyze traffic behavior at scale. They look for patterns that don't resemble typical home internet usage, like large numbers of users connecting from the same IP ranges or consistent access from data centers rather than residential networks. This is why VPN detection keeps getting more aggressive. It's not a personal judgment about VPN users. It's not an attempt to block privacy tools altogether. It's an automated response to licensing pressure and contractual obligations that platforms can't ignore. So once you understand that the experience starts to make more sense, a VPN detected message isn't a punishment and it doesn't mean your account is flagged. It simply means the system recognized traffic that doesn't match what is allowed to serve in that region. That's also why no VPN can guarantee permanent access to every streaming platform. The goal isn't to outsmart streaming services forever, it's to minimize how often your connection triggers those automated systems and how to understand how to respond when it does. This is also why access can change from day to day, IPs rotate, traffic patterns shift, and streaming platforms update detection rules constantly. When UltraVPN says it offers over 125 virtual locations, that doesn't mean 125 random buttons. It means access to servers that simulate being in different geographic regions. Each location represents a pool of IP addresses. When one pool becomes overused or flagged, switching locations gives you a new route into the internet. This matters because VPN detection isn't permanent across all locations. A blocked server in one one region doesn't mean every server is blocked. More locations simply give you more chances to connect cleanly. UltraVPN highlights something called Hydra protocol, which sounds technical but solves a very practical problem. A protocol is just a set of rules that controls how your data moves through the VPN tunnel. Some protocols prioritize security at the cost of speed. Others are optimized for performance. Hydra is designed to keep connections fast and stable, which matters because slow or inconsistent traffic is easier for streaming platforms to flag. If a connection stalls, times out, or repeatedly reconnects, it looks suspicious. So stable speed doesn't make a VPN invisible, but it helps your traffic blend in with normal streaming behavior instead of standing out. So over here, we see protect your privacy and identity, and it mentions a zero logs policy. So a no logs policy means the VPN provider isn't storing records of what you access or when you access it. For streaming, this matters less for privacy hype and more for consistency. If your activity isn't being recorded or routed through tracking systems, there's less chance of metadata conflicts or session mismatches that can expose VPN usage. It's not about secrecy, it's about minimizing unnecessary signals that streaming platforms can use to identify non-standard traffic. So a kill switch automatically blocks internet traffic if the VPN connection drops even briefly. So without it, your device can reconnect using your real IP for a split second. So that's enough for a streaming app to detect a mismatch between sessions. This matters because VPN detected errors happen after brief disconnects, not during steady usage, and a kill switch prevents those accidental leaks that triggers blocks. So what to do when a streaming stops working? So when a streaming app blocks you, the fix usually isn't complicated, but it does require understanding how detection works. In most cases, nothing is wrong with your account. You've just connected to an IP that was already flagged. Disconnecting and reconnecting assigns a new IP. Closing and reopening the streaming app forces it to recheck your connection. Switching to a nearby region changes the traffic route without dramatically affecting speed. So this works because detection is IP-based, not account-based. You're not banned, you're just rerouted. What UltraVPN does and doesn't promise. UltraVPN is designed to support streaming, but it's important to be clear about what that actually means. This behavior isn't specific to UltraVPN, it's how streaming platforms treat VPN traffic across the board. It doesn't promise permanent, universal access to every streaming platform because no VPN can realistically guarantee that. Streaming services constantly update their detection systems, and those systems change faster than any single workaround can last. What UltraVPN offers instead is infrastructure that makes streaming more reliable over time. That starts with modern VPN protocols designed to move data efficiently so your traffic looks closer to normal streaming behavior rather than something automated or overloaded. It also includes a wide range of server locations, which gives you flexibility when one connection gets temporarily flagged or restricted. Another part of that infrastructure is how traffic is handled. UltraVPN focuses on stability and consistency, which reduces sudden spikes or anomalies that streaming platforms tend to associate with VPN usage. It doesn't make your connection invisible, but it can make it less likely to stand out. This distinction is important because it resets expectations. VPNs are not magic keys that unlock every app forever. They're tools that help manage how often detection happens and how disruptive it is when it does. When you understand that, the experience feels less frustrating and a lot more predictable. Instead of chasing guarantees that don't exist, UltraVPN is built around giving you practical options, multiple locations, fast connections, and the ability to adapt when streaming platforms push updates. That's what makes it useful in the real world, especially as detection systems continue to evolve. Who this actually works for. So UltraVPN makes sense for people who stream regularly, travel, or want flexibility without constant built-in troubleshooting. It's designed for normal use cases, not extreme edge scenarios. If you understand how detection works and use the tools correctly, it significantly reduces interruptions, and that's the practical value. If you want to try UltraVPN yourself, you can use the link below to save over 60% on UltraVPN, and it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, which gives you time to test it with your own streaming apps and locations. That's what VPN Detected actually means, why it keeps happening, and how UltraVPN is built to reduce it without making unrealistic promises. I'm Erin from the VPN Nerds. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.